Good evening. Welcome to the latest live edition from Last Bell Boxing. Joined as always by regulars. Harrison, how are you, mate?
Good, thanks, Andy. Nice to see you. Fantastic week of boxing there, so really looking forward to getting stuck into this.
Absolutely. And the powers that be of Carl. How are you, pal?
Harrison, that was nice and energetic. You took me back a bit there from what you was off camera to what you're on camera. Jesus, like camera action, Harrison comes to life.
I'll tell you why. It's because we can go through so many periods in boxing where we have drab weeks where it's maybe just one small show. And we have been so deprived of these undisputed fights for so long. And to have two in the space of 3 days, I was just buzzing after Monday afternoon. So I was really excited to get on tonight and share a few bits and bobs.
Well, it's good to have you, Harrison, and thank you for the introduction. And I'm all well, thank you. Living the dream.
Enjoying the sun, boys?
Oh, yes. What I see of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting too hot now. That's my worry. We're at the period now where it's just like my pale, white, pasty Irish skin's not going to cope for too much longer.
Go a bit red and sunburnt, do you, mate?
My nose is already going. It's shocking. I went for a walk. I've come back, Barnes. It's ridiculous.
The answer's Guinness. That's the answer.
It's the answer to everything.
Right, let's crack on, boys. Enough of the small talk. Straight into it. Last weekend, there was an absolute mega fight over in the States, as everybody knows. Canelo against Inoue Munguia. I got my prediction absolutely way wrong, didn't I? I thought Munguia would have enough, and it looked like he was doing really well early doors. Typical Canelo. He was testing him out. He was seeing what his flaws were. He's seeing where he could exploit Munguia's attacking style. I'll give you my 2 pence worth first, lads. I think Munguia fought the wrong fight. I thought he was having lots of success earlier on, but he got greedy, and he got exploited because he got greedy. I thought his shot selection early doors and his hand speed was really, really, really good, and it was giving Canelo lots of troubles. Canelo couldn't set, but because of the little bit of success he was getting, he like I say, he got a bit greedy. And then Canelo found the spot, didn't he? And he wasn't the same. Munguia wasn't the same after that uppercut. He kind of the aggression that he was showing early doors. He kind of lost a bit of that. What he should have done, in my opinion, was boxed a bit more on the back foot. But obviously, didn't happen. But credit to him for digging in the way he did. I think he's given Canelo probably one of his better fights in recent times, to be honest. Carl, I know you've got a slightly different opinion than me on this, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think Canelo is ever in trouble. I don't know where you get these bits of success from, because I thought Canelo never looked in trouble one moment. I did say last week on the show that I didn't believe Munguia had the power to trouble Canelo. I'll be honest, when I saw them both in the weigh-in, I thought Munguia's actually quite a big boy. But all we saw was a slightly slower, slightly more static Canelo, which allowed him to get hit more. But I still don't believe if Munguia is still hitting him now, he would have got Canelo out of there.
Sorry, mate. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters whether that he was hurting him or not hurting him. He was having success, and if he'd have changed his tactics slightly, I think it might have down the line. It might have troubled Canelo a little bit, and it might have been a close result.
I don't think Munguia would ever trouble Canelo. I don't think he had it in the locker room, to be honest. Not yet, anyway, in his career. I do believe he's got a future at super middleweight, but I just didn't think he was good. I never thought he was good enough to trouble Canelo, and I still haven't changed my mind now post-fight. I might be a bit harsh on the kid, but I had the feeling Canelo could have got him out of there whenever he wanted. That's my honest opinion. And when he dropped him, I think Canelo did what he typically does and cruises down the championship rounds to a points win. Since it's the back end of his career, he often does that now, where he feels job's done and he just coasts down 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Harrison, what's your take?
I'm sort of in the middle between the two of you. I seen the fight playing out the way that it did. And I wasn't terribly surprised that in the end, Canelo was good enough to have it on points and deserve to win. There was times, especially early on, and this happens in a lot of Canelo fights because he has this excellent feel-out process where he's happy to give a round or two and just gain as much information as possible, and he did that incredibly well. That was where Munguia had the best part of his success, in my opinion, and like you, the latter of your points was that he used his hand speed very well, and I pointed out that out last week, and that was where he looked to come into his own. The problem was when he got knocked down, he just gave Canelo way too much respect, and he didn't stay in the pockets of aggression where he was having good success. And from that, unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. When we got into the championship and the distance rounds, I really liked how Canelo came into his own. He had to find a little bit more because I did have the scorecards creeping a little closer in the mid to late rounds. But then when Canelo took off in the championship rounds, he had it won clear and ultimately got to fight the fight he wanted to and was just a bit too good for Munguia. I loved Carl's point. He will have a future at 168, this kid. He's really talented. He's got good power, but he's just in there against one of the all-time greats, and that prevailed.
Jams, how are you, mate?
Hi, Andy. You all right, buddy?
All good, all good. We're talking about Canelo Munguia. Give me your opinion of what you thought of the fight and whether it could have played out differently.
Yeah, mate. I thought it was a really good fight. I think Munguia showed that he belongs at the top table, but he was against an all-time great. You know what I mean? Canelo just showed him the way. The first 3 rounds Munguia took for me. 4th round, he got that beast of an uppercut, which put him on his bum. He didn't know how to respond to that. So the next few rounds were a bit of a blur to him. And then he had another good round in the 9th or 10th where he had another crack at him. But Canelo just showed his level and he dominated to a wide victory. I think Canelo maybe could have got him out of there if he wasn't Mexican and he wanted to. But Munguia can certainly come again, in my opinion.
Yeah, he showed a lot of art and bravery for me because he was getting beat up in the middle rounds. And he dug in, like you say, and he came again in the later rounds, which I thought, showed a lot of spirit. I'm in agreement. So I don't see a lot in that super middleweight division. If Munguia decides to stay there, I don't see a lot to stop him. It's not stacked, is it?
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Especially with Benavidez. Well,
Benavidez hadn't moved up to 175. I'd have liked to have seen Benavidez Munguia. Just as to see how he gets on before he fights Canelo. Because everyone's screaming for the Canelo-Benavidez fight. I don't think Benavidez has earned that fight. Let him beat Munguia and then we'll talk. You know what I mean? But we're never going to see that now because he's fighting Gavodnik, isn't he? At 175.
Yeah, he's run out. The problem is he's run out of options, hasn't he? There's only one fight he wants at 168, and he's not going to get it. For whatever reason, Canelo just won't fight him. I don't understand it myself, but that to me is probably the biggest fight Canelo could have now for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I'll go to Saudi. If Turkey wants it to happen, he'll pay the money and it'll happen.
I think so. It should happen, that fight. I feel like we've built it up and we've hyped it exceptionally well, and that is still a good fight. I think Benavidez could trouble Canelo. I don't know if he'd beat him.
I am in the camp, though, Harrison, that Benavidez may not have earned that fight yet. I can see why people are saying that.
I think so. It's just that fight makes a lot of sense. The way Canelo's got these links into the PBC stable and that they've had the promotion for this for a long time, whether he's earned it or not, it still sells good. It's a really good pay-per-view, and it should happen, I think.
You could argue Benavidez that Canelo's made for him because he's a lot more static now. He's not difficult to go looking for.
Yes, but Benavidez is an exceptional mover. That's what he would have going for.
Punch power as well. I'm thinking about punch power.
He's going to do really well at 75. I'd love to see him in with the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev down the line after their fights, but we have to see if he carries that power up. I'd be very surprised if he didn't.
Good evening, Håkan. How are you?
Mute.
Got no sound, mate. Can't hear you.
It's live television for you.
Can you hear me now?
You can.
Yeah, that's it, mate. We got you now.
Thank you for so technical difficulty to
that. So, mate, break down your feelings on the Canelo fight before we move on.
The fight was like I thought before. I thought that Munguia could done pretty well, but Canelo was to be too good for Munguia. So it wasn't a surprise for me at it went to points. So I think Munguia did well, but Canelo is too good for Munguia right now.
Coach Metcalf, how are you?
You're right.
Very good, mate. Very good. Everyone else has had their say on Canelo Munguia, mate. So give us your opinion.
He was just too good, weren't he? He's still got quite a bit left in tank for me. I think this will have the effect maybe that the Mayweather fight had on Canelo. I think it'll make him a better fighter, Munguia. So I look forward to watching his career.
Okay, Carl, swiftly moving on to the boxer card this weekend in Cardiff. Absolute banger of an opportunity for Lauren Price here. I don't know what you guys think. We'll come around the room in a second about Jessica McCaskill and where she's at in her career. But before we do that, let's look down the card a little bit. I saw a little bit of the presser earlier on, and Hughie Fury seemed in good form. His second fight out again, in quick succession, may I add, after 3 years out of the ring, exactly what he needs. Daz, I'll come to you first, mate. Think this is a good move that they're moving him quickly?
Yeah, activity. That's the key. That's what he's been lacking. So, keep him active and let's see what he can do. He's got a talent. He's a talented bloke. Really is. Just needs to keep active. Inactivity is good for no fighter.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And I mean, we can't be judging the opponents yet. After being 3 years out, I think he deserves a couple of fights to shake off any ring rust and cobwebs he's got left. Harrison, what do you know about this opponent, Patrick Corte?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I know that he has been doing really well for himself out in Germany, and I suppose the issue is we don't know the level. A lot of us that he's been fighting at, he's been getting good, quick, fast knockouts, but again, that could be against any sort of unknown quantity. And the only good thing that suits here is the activity, like you've both said there. It doesn't really matter who he's fighting, what level they're fighting at. He just needs to get himself in a ring as much as he can to finish out this year. We spoke about him a couple of weeks ago, and just it doesn't matter who he's fighting for the next couple of fights. Just get the rounds behind him, try and get a couple of knockouts to show that he's got power and a bit of entertainment and excitement about him. We know he's a good character. He speaks well outside of the ring. It would just be nice to see him put a couple of performances together now to get back into the ring and just as much experience as possible. That's crucial for him now.
Harrison, I get a little bit of a feeling that you're not sold on him going too far in this heavyweight division.
I never have been, and I spoke about him a few weeks ago. There is potential, but at the minute there's a ceiling, and I haven't seen him crack that. I know that we spoke the losses he has into the likes of Pulev, Povetkin, and Parker, who were all really high class operators in this heavyweight division. I just worry that in the time period that he's been off, the division has moved on from him. But I suppose that's going to happen in any case with any sense of inactivity. I said about Andy Ruiz recently, his inactivity, when he comes back, it's crucial. But I just worry that unless he keeps really active and goes through the levels really quickly, I just worry that the division's past him now.
Carl, Patrick Corte's a real lump, right?
Yeah, I was looking at his resume earlier to try and find some synergy or someone that I recognise where he can try and use that as a yardstick.
Yeah.
And he got beat to Dempsey McKean, this guy. So there's your yardstick for you. But just coming on to Hughie Fury, Peter Fury said he'll be out Saturday. He'll be out in June on a GBM card yet to be announced. And then they're going to go for a big fight in September. Now, what he means by a big fight, I don't know. But that gives you a kind of blueprint of what they're looking at. So I just think, like Dad says and like the others said, it's all about activity. I don't know where Hughie Fury sits in the heavyweight division. I don't think any of us know until he gets that activity back and we have a look at him against an active opponent. Some of his losses look better, don't they, over the course of time? The Joe Parker one's got better and better, let's be honest. So, has he got the power? That's always been a question mark. Has he got that destructive power? I guess we're going to find out. But one thing for sure, Peter Fury won't mess around, will he? You know, he's got him in and out the ring regular, and he'll be a meaningful fight. So let's see where he can take him.
Absolutely agree, mate. Daz, there's no massive rush here, is there? You know, he's what is he now? 28, 29?
29.
It's still young for an heavyweight.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, he's 29. He's like still got plenty of time. There's people who aren't turned pro till they're 29. He's got plenty of time. To be fair, don't have to rush.
You know, because he's been around for such a long time, Daz.
Yeah,
it makes you think he's older than he is.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, Carl's mentioned it and Alison's mentioned it. Those 3 losses, although, I mean, I've said it a number of times. I don't think he lost to Joe Parker. I think he won that fight. The other 2 were prime Pulev and Povetkin for me. They were very, very dangerous operators when you went in with them, and there was no backing down there. A lot of fighters would have avoided them fights, and that's just not in the nature of the Fury team, I don't think.
No, listen, it's going to be interesting what he does. I mean, this guy's obviously a step up from his last opponent. So then hopefully the next fight, if he gets through this, will be a step up again. That's all he can do. You can just keep stepping up the opponents, and then we'll see. We'll see what he does.
You know, the September fight that Peter Fury's talked about. I'd like to see him fight the loser of Clark Wardley.
When's that?
I'm not
sure the timelines will align, if I'm honest with you, Daz. But what I'm saying is, at some stage, I'd like to see that sort of level. I'd like to see him in at sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't say, you know, in 2 fights' time. He'd probably need to, you know, a step up after this. But I think probably, because he's been out so long, maybe Wardley or Clark might be a little bit too far, too soon. Just 1 or 2 fights too soon.
I'm thinking after the September fight, which would be his 4th fight this year. So maybe early next year.
So he's fighting in July. So he's fighting in July and September, is that?
Yeah, Peter Fury said he'll be out in September in a bigger fight and a bit more of a step up. Should he come through Saturday?
Well, I mean, to be fair, if it's someone who's just like a little level below what Wardley and Clark are, and Huey looks very impressive, then yeah, I mean, then that fight's a possibility.
Yeah.
But if it's, you know, listen, I'm not overly sold on this guy who's fighting next. He's definitely better than the last guy he fought, but you know, it's got to be someone who is really going to try and upset the apple cart in September for me. And then if he does the business and looks good doing it, then yeah, take that next step.
Can I get in here?
Go, yeah, of course I can. Go for it.
I know Patrick Hart, and he was knocked out by Felix Langberg in Germany 3-4 fights ago, and Felix Langberg fought Marius Koljas, the Greece based in Sweden, and was knocked out by Koljas. And Felix Langberg has lost his last fight too. So Patrick Hart's resume isn't that good, in my opinion.
He lost to Dempsey
I mean,
as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's before. But Dempsey McKean is It's a better fighter, in my opinion, than Felix Langberg, that he was knocked out in the first round.
Probably a confidence builder, this one.
Yes.
Jams, do you kind of agree with what Carl and Daz are saying, that stepping up to that next level is really important? I mean, if it's not at the British level, how about a Solomon Dackers or a David Adelaide?
Yeah, that'd be a good fight, mate. David Adelaide, someone at that level. I don't think he's ready for the Wardley Clark sort of level yet. They're top British level. I'd go just a little bit below that. But I think, like Gaz said, he needs a couple more warm-ups. He's been out for 3 years, hasn't he? He's got this lad, I don't know much about him, who is fighting soon. And then if he's coming in September, is that going to be on the Turkey Al Sheikh Wembley card, is it?
He didn't elaborate, Jams. He just said, he keeps his cards close to his chest, Peter Fury, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, mate. He does. Well, hopefully, mate, Huey will get the job done this weekend. He'll do it again in July. And then we'll hopefully see him in a bigger fight. You know, maybe even a Derek Chisora, mate. I know he's getting on, but he still puts up a fight. That'd be a good test of where he's at, to see if he's really got that heart back in it, because he's been out a long time. He clearly went through something very serious. Let's see what heart he's got left for the boxing game. And if he's got it still, then he can move on to that sort of level of the Wardleys, Clarks and them sort.
And it's okay saying he's been in the gym and he's looking really good in the gym and he's good in sparring. I mean, Daz is the perfect person to tell you it's a completely different thing when you're under the lights and you got them small gloves on. He's got to build from the illness that he had. From other people that have had it that aren't even sports people, it's absolutely wiped them out to the point where they could.
Peter Fury clearly said today, his opponent, who he gets in next, will depend on how he looks in the ring.
Yeah, of course, that's the right thing to do, isn't it?
Yep.
Matching on performances rather than the belief. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said at the very start, he's a young man. He's got ages left as an heavyweight. Right, swiftly moving on. Let's get some quick round robins on what I think might be the fight of the night. Rhys Edwards against Thomas Patrick Ward. Great little contest this for the vacant WBA interim featherweight belt. Right, we'll come to you, Jams. How do you see this one panning?
I'm going to go Patrick Ward on points, mate. I've just got a feeling he's going to take it on points.
Daz?
You know what? I like Ward as a fighter, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna back him.
Harrison, how about you, mate?
God, this is tricky. It's a really, really good fight as well.
It's a good fight, isn't it?
I'm probably just leaning towards Rhys Edwards, but Thomas Ward's a very, very good operator. But I'll just go with Rhys Edwards.
Carl?
Yeah, I'm going Thomas Patrick Ward. Obviously, he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders being the next golden boy of the Northeast boxing scene. Didn't quite work out for him. I think he'll flourish being the away fighter. So I'm going to take Ward.
Yeah, his only loss has come against Kolmatov. Got stopped in the fifth round, and that's no shakes on him, is it? Håkan, how do you see it?
I'm going with Rhys Edwards on the close decision.
Right. Okay. Very good fight. I'm not sure whether it's just one or two fights too soon for Rhys Edwards. Thomas Patrick Ward's very experienced, good operator. I think Patrick Ward. I don't see a stoppage though, because neither of them are big bangers. So yeah, I'm going to say points. Thomas Patrick Ward. Okay. I think we move swiftly on now to the headliner. I think this is a real opportunity. As I said earlier on, it's a real opportunity for Lauren Price, because I don't think Jessica McCaskill is the fighter that she was a couple of years ago.
Definitely not.
I think Sandy Ryan did an absolute number on her and got, as we know, got absolutely robbed. It's going to be very interesting. It's a very interesting division in British circles, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens after this fight if Lauren Price comes through. Gaz, I'll come to you first, mate. Are you of a similar opinion to me about McCaskill?
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. I've never been a massive fan of her. I mean, decent fighter, but I just think Lauren Price is just going to box her head off. To be fair, I had to laugh today. To be fair, when I heard Ben Shalom talking, and he said, listen, he's got to do his bit as a promoter, but he basically said, McCaskill, got a draw with Sandy Ryan. Then look what Sandy Ryan did to Terry Harper. Lauren Price is in for a really, really tough fight. So let's be honest, McCaskill got a gift. It weren't because she did anything great. She got a gift over Sandy Ryan, an absolute gift. And, I think she's the... Listen, she's been picked for Price to beat, hasn't she? Come on.
Yeah.
She's not... if they really thought Price was that elite at the minute, they'd be going after Sandy Ryan, wouldn't they? But listen,
or Tasha Jonas.
Yeah, Tasha Jonas.
Jonas is very happy. She believes it should have been her fight. She's come out publicly and said that.
Well, that's because they see McCaskill as the easiest fight.
Yeah. And
that's
why.
True. That's why, yeah. And that's why Shalom's got... Listen, I'm not saying Price can't mix it with everyone, but I think Price has got a serious lack of power, if I'm honest. She, nice, very nice boxer, but McCaskill's been picked because she's not what she was, and she's the easiest of the champions.
Harrison, Lauren Price, you can't question her amateur pedigree, elite amateur. But as everyone keeps going on about, it's a completely different sport. She's still learning, in my opinion. This is only a 7th fight. She's still learning in the pro ranks. Can you see any sort of a slip up here?
Well, she's relatively unexposed as a professional. Like you said, that her amateur pedigree can't be questioned. A sensational Olympian and one that we all really got behind a couple of years ago. Since she's moved up to these pro ranks, she's made history by winning a British title, which was an incredible moment for women's boxing, and the elevation that's helping to bring to the sport is brilliant. From her own perspective, I think that this fight made the most sense in terms of a name and champion. I think if you look at the other champions of welterweight, this probably is the one that makes sense. Jessica McCaskill hasn't won a fight now in the best part of 2 years and has been declining since she was at her best. And when she was at her best, this would be a complete mismatch. But obviously, Chantel Cameron made light work of her. Sandy Ryan was robbed of a horrible decision over in America. And I think that has aligned perfectly here for Lauren Price. I think this is just perfect. Lions Den atmosphere. I know that the South Wales fans will be massive on her on Saturday night and the entire card. So I think the timing of this is excellent from Sky and from Boxer. I wish her the best of luck. I think she's a really talented fighter. So I think that she'll win this. Again, one of those, I would be shocked if she got her out of the ring, but I'd be expecting a good wide points victory here for Lauren Price on Saturday.
Carl, assuming she comes through this fight, there's no going backwards. The next fight's going to be against one of the other champions, surely. Does she have a chance against a Sandy Ryan or a Tasha Jonas?
Not at current. Well, not at her current level. No, she'd have to show me something different on Saturday.
Or a Habazin, or the WBC champion Habazin.
Yeah, possibly, but I'd be keeping away from Sandy Ryan and Chantel Cameron at the minute. Jessica McCaskill, 39 years old, massively on the slide. Good matchmaking from Ben Shalom, you could argue. I'm often his big critic, but he's got the fight over the line. I hear what Daddy said about power from Lauren Price, 6 fights, 1 KO. With some of the opponents she's been in, you'd expect that KO rate to be slightly higher, wouldn't you? Yeah, she'll clearly win on Saturday. I agree. It goes to points. A wide points victory for Lauren Price. But then, like you said, there's no turning back then. So I'll be interested to see who she jumps in with next.
I mean, the likelihood is it's a mandatory, isn't it? Next, or a voluntary. You know, I very much doubt they'll chuck us straight in. But you know, you push someone.
Might be the one. Jonas might be the one eventually.
Well,
both on the same promoter and platform.
Yeah, Jonas is the one to make. It's the easy one to make.
Well, Jonas is running out of time as well. Like, she said that this is probably going to be her last year in boxing, so she only wants to be in major fights, unifications, of course, with that boxer programming behind her as well. If they do decide to throw Lauren Price straight into unification, I think that's a sensational matchup. It's a really good fight. I can't see it happen, and I'm in the agreement with you that it'll be a voluntary next, but that Jonas fight's the one to make for me.
You can understand why Jonas is upset, though, Harrison, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She's not had. I think she was expecting far more when she moved over to Sky, and I don't think Ben Shalom's delivered as much as he could have for her.
Well, she was the flag bearer, right, Harrison? She was one of the first ones to go over, right, and take a chance.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's worked out for her, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
The only one.
Sorry,
the only one. Listen, I know Natasha Jonas probably feels hard done to, but listen, I don't get why. The only person that should feel hard done to in that division really is Michaela Mayer. No, yeah, well, Sandy Ryan, but Michaela Mayer as well.
I was in a chat with Jonas last night. Sorry to interrupt you, Daz. And Jonas said that Michaela Mayer rematch is on the cards. It's going to happen.
Good.
Yeah, it should do as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
the fight
Mayer
was agreed by the teams.
Yeah,
but when the What's the Yard fight didn't happen, they couldn't afford it on the June 15 card.
September, they reckon now. September time, they're saying. I don't know that for certain, but she was on No Smoke Sport last night, and that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the question, Andy, that you asked me, mate? You said Jam. I didn't hear what you said, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you feel that because Natasha Jonas is coming to the latter part of her career, I think it was Daz that said that, or was it Harrison that said that she said herself she's only got about a year left. Do you think boxers are overlooking her because they can see that Lauren Price is their future?
Yeah, that's a good shout, mate, to be honest. Tasha Jonas has actually stipulated that she wants to end by the end of this year. She wants to be done by December the 31st this year. She doesn't want to fight next year at all. She's promised her daughter, who's now training. She's training at the Rotunda gym, apparently. She's all into the boxing now. And Tasha's going to give it up on the 31st December. So her last fight will be at the end of this year.
Jams is probably a case that Natasha Jonas wants X amount of money to jump into the ring as a purse, and Ben Shalom can't deliver it.
Possibly, but they are talking about this Michaela Mayer fight happening now around September time, and then she wants one last fight in December. And she said she's up for the Lauren Price fight, but she don't think it'll generate enough money.
The thing is that if she's like looking at a December swan song for a lot of money,
she wants Katie Taylor. That's what she.
Well, to be fair, mate. To be fair, mate, I don't think she beats Michaela Mayer.
That's another point. Yeah, that's another point. But if she did happen to get past Michaela Mayer, she wants the Taylor fight. But I just can't see it happening because Taylor's already tied up with. Who's Taylor fighting? Sorry, my brain ain't working. I've got
Serrano.
Serrano.
Why is Taylor going to jump in with Jonas, with all due respect?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
She's not, is she? She's not. That's the thing. But that's what she said she wanted. That was her dream to it. You know what I mean? So it might be a surprise.
She better get someone then who can make big fights. She might get a wish then.
Guys, you can't blame Natasha Jonas at this point of her career after what she's achieved. You can't blame her for wanting a massive last couple of paydays.
Oh, she's earned it, mate. Miss GB has earned it. I think she's a fantastic fighter. She's one of my all-time favourites, not just female in boxing. I
agree, James. I agree, but you got to be.
I agree.
You got to be realistic.
Yeah, that's true, Carl. That is true. Yeah, and she's not going to get that Taylor fight. Taylor's going to fight Serrano. If she loses or wins, there'll probably be a third match. You know, and there's going to be no time for Tasha Jonas to get in there, and that's a shame because she deserves that big send-off. You know, she's done a lot for the sport.
Maybe Chantal Cameron fight later this year.
Bangs are up real bad. I wouldn't want to see that.
Do you know what? Guys, do sorry, do you know what would be the perfect finale for her? Would be the Terry Harper rematch.
Yeah,
if she loses,
Harper's on the massive decline.
If she loses against Michaela Mayer, then I think that's the only fight that could be made that could make her any money.
How much money did that generate?
Oh, it's huge, Carl.
No, not
it's
for
huge.
me.
It is because of because of the needle from the first fight. Because every now and again you'll see a little bit of beef between them on social media. It don't need any building. It's not a massive fight in the scales of Katie Taylor figures. It's nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. But no, but because it's a last, it would be a last fight. And if she is coming off, I'm not saying she loses against Michaela Mayer at all. But if that did happen, where else could she go? As a last fight, it's not like she's got a rebuilding job, and the likelihood is she wouldn't get another world title shot if it, as a last fight.
Terry Harper's got to do some serious rebuilding though to generate any interest in that fight whatsoever.
I agree.
Because she looked shot to bits. She looked absolutely shot.
And I don't think there's no interest from the boxing public to watch that fight again.
She looked shot to bits. Terry did, and it was like.
See, mate, it was a shame to see because I love Terry Harper, but she looked a broken fighter in that fight.
Yeah. And it was just, is there any interest? Listen, if she has a couple of fights and looks really good, then probably a bit of interest. But
Jonas ain't got time, has she, Dad, for her to have them 2 fights?
No, exactly. So not on what we saw against Sandy Ryan. She looked shot.
She did. Sorry,
I'm not sure where she goes.
Straight.
I'm not sure where she goes because she's in the Who Needs Him club, isn't she? Unfortunately, Natasha Jonas. Let's be honest.
Yeah, listen, I think she's got to get in with Mayer again. That's got to happen. So, listen, concentrate on Mayer, and then if you get through that, then look at winner of Price, McCaskill, Sandy Ryan.
I'll tell you what, though, with the Price McCaskill fight, I feel sorry for Ivana Habazin. She had the fight scheduled for the unification with McCaskill and then just got mugged
I agree, James, with that.
McCaskill just walked away and just said, there's not enough money being made here. I'm going to walk away and fight Lauren Price in Wales. That's a disgusting move from a professional boxer, in my opinion.
Thing is, though, Jams, that's boxing. The fighters,
aren't they? Yeah, prize fighters.
The fighters will go where the money is, and to be honest with you, if any of my fighters did that, I'd happily back them doing that because it's money. That's what it is.
You're risking your life, haven't you? So you got
we've got to and I'm one of them. I hold my hands up hard with this. We've got to get out of that nostalgia thing where boxing were the best, want to fight the best.
Rose tinted glasses, Daz. Get them rose tinted glasses off.
Yeah, just listen. It's just in an ideal world, the best want to fight the best, just to see who is the best. Do you know what I mean? But the main forefront is look how much we're getting paid, and that's just how it is.
Short career, right? You got to
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, lads. I think we can move on now. There's another card happening over in London. Your Call, another TV show which is going completely under the radar. Denzel Bentley is back out against Danny Dignam for the vacant WBO interim middleweight title. Daz, I'm going to come to you first. Are you a bit surprised that Denzel Bentley didn't try and go straight back in with Nathan Enid?
I am a little bit. Yeah. I really am a little bit. But whether he's going to try another path or not, I don't know. But I've had a boxing border control championship circular today. And they've ordered Ine to fight Hamza Shiraz.
That's going to be a absolute masterclass. Shiraz will spark him in 5.
Yeah, Shiraz is a bit special for me. I
He
like
really
Hamza
is, mate.
Shiraz.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Sorry.
No,
He is
no.
why he can hang around at that Maisie fits into that weight, to be honest.
Yeah. But obviously, Shiraz has got business to take care of.
Inside it.
But Amber Williams, isn't he?
That's no pushover fight.
No, there's no giving that in.
Although I took him to knock him out early as well. Everyone laughed at me, especially the Americans.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I like Hamza Shiraz. I know Hamza Shiraz is original trainer, and yeah, he's a special kid. Very good fighter.
Harrison, what's going on with Denzel Bentley's career?
Interesting one, isn't it? I just don't know. I don't know if he's good enough. I might sound a bit off my nuts there saying that, but I just think that he's another one who is a good, solid operator, but he hasn't been able to progress past this British level, and he's stuck now. The Nathan Heaney fight, he went in a massive favourite, like one of the biggest betting upsets probably of last year, and he got well beat as well. Like, Nathan Heaney never really looked in trouble. It was his career best as well. I like Nathan Heaney as well. I'm a big fan of him. But I've become really stalled on an opinion for Denzel Bentley. When he lost the Felix Cash fight, that was fine at the time. I thought he was able to come back from that and perform well. And I know he had a couple of wins in between. But then he came in against Alan Cunliffe, got absolutely battered again, tried to resurface at the level, was back in with Haney, which kind of offset the level, but then was beaten again. And I just don't know really what you do with him. He's a decent ticket seller. Your call will be bouncing, I'm sure, on Saturday night, and he has got some operations going for him. I just think his quality and his class isn't good enough at this level anymore, I'm afraid.
Carl, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think Frank Warren's got a bit of a problem on his hands here, because there's a clear ceiling to his ability, isn't there? He went over to America, put a very good performance in against a world-class opponent. We all were singing his praises, saying how well he hung in there. He was never going to win, obviously, but he did himself proud, let's say. Let's have it right. Nathan Heaney is limited. Is limited. You know, if he does go to world level, he's got problems. But Bentley looked like he had no interest in the game anymore. I was a bit concerned about, has he earned a bit of money? I don't know him personally. I don't know his background. But it was like the spark had gone out.
The thing is, though, Carl,
go on.
When you've gone to world level, to then drop back down to fight at British level again, especially at this part of his career, it must be a difficult thing. It must be a difficult thing to get up for.
I think it depends on the personality of the fighter. Sometimes you'll find it galvanizes them because they've had a taste of that level. They liked it at that level and feel they belong at that level, so they do come back down and they fight tooth and nail to get back to that level. So it depends on the personality of the fighter. But Bentley definitely didn't look right against Heaney, not to what I've seen in previous fights. So I suspect this is Frank Warren saying, not that we're going to give you one more roll of the dice, but if you're talking about going back to world level, this is your last chance to get back to them levels, I suspect. Yeah.
Håkan, what's your feelings on Denzel Bentley and his career?
I feel that he's back to British level now, and for me, I think he knocks out Dignam pretty early, maybe 5th or 6th round on Saturday. Maybe he can step up after that fight. I don't know, but
it's interesting, isn't it? You've got a big European title fight going on next month. Is it next month? Yeah, next month. Does he get the winner of that? I know he's already fought Felix Cash and got beat, but I mean, surely that's the fight that he should have been touted for in the first place. British against European, but
Cash is mandatory for Dennis.
I get that, mate. I sometimes feel Queensberry don't know what to do with certain fighters. and it's as though they're just putting him out with somebody just to get him out, rather than having a long-term plan for particular fighters. You know, fighters go up to world level, get beat.
Yeah,
fighters go up to.
Matchroom would have released him, is my view. Looking at how he earns, currently managing their stable of fighters, I think he would have got rid of Bentley. Is my honest view.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think he's a real talented fighter. I just question how much he wants it now. That's my only thing with him. I just question how much he wants it. I'm in no position to be asking whether a fighter still wants it or not, but that's, you know, it's just how I feel.
I mean, two very similar records, Dignam and Bentley. There's not much in it, is there? I know they fought at different levels, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about just win, loss, and draws.
They both lost to Amin Kanali, didn't they?
Yeah, and Dignam's a southpaw as well, so you got that to throw in the mix.
He had the draw with Sorokin as well, which was a good performance, even though he only got the draw. Dignam's a decent operator, in my opinion, but Bentley should be better.
He'll check his heart out, won't he?
Yeah, I definitely think Bentley's going to win this one, but he's just going to paper over the cracks. I don't believe he's going to go on to back to world honours. I just don't think he's good enough, to be quite honest. He's a good level British fighter, but he's not going to be a world champion. He's not that level, unfortunately.
Right, guys. Moving swiftly on to what looks like a decent card over in Australia. I'm actually less interested in this headline fight than I am in the Nina Hughes Shanika Johnson fight, if I'm being completely honest. I'm bored with the old Kambosos Lomachenko. I don't understand how Kambosos keeps on getting these fights.
Because
he's got a. Because what?
Because he beat Teo. He got lucky with a win over Teo, didn't he? That's the only reason.
But he looked awful. He's looked awful since, though.
He was awful in that fight, to be honest. He was lucky as hell.
Did he beat Maxi Hughes?
No, he didn't beat Maxi Hughes. He got beat by Maxi Hughes. This is part of the problem. You know, he got gifted a result there. Maxi Hughes never got another look in. There should have been an automatic rematch straight away. And now he's getting another title fight. I just don't understand it.
Listen, he might get another gift this weekend.
Well, I know that's the problem, innit?
What are you suggesting, Dad? What are you suggesting?
You are?
I don't understand what you're suggesting.
Mate, listen, he got a gift over Selby.
Yep.
You know, he got a gift of a Maxi Hughes.
Yeah.
Teo were awful. Kambosos were awful. You know, but
Ambolic fight.
You know, the thing is, Lomachenko as well. I heard Lomachenko say, and I don't like this kind of talk from Lomachenko, saying, you know, no one wanted to fight me so many years ago.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Now I'm older and slower. They want to fight. Listen, it might be a bit of kidology. But,
he's right, though, does.
Yeah, but he's saying, you know, now everyone wants to fight me. You know, I think that's the first time I've heard a bit of negativity from him.
He said he's found God as well, and that's the
reason. Well,
like me.
I was actually gonna put that to Harrison. Lomachenko in his prime, Kambosos don't belong in the same ring, right?
Oh my God, they don't belong in the same earth. When Vasyl Lomachenko,
he won't get a job as a sparring partner.
No. When Vasyl Lomachenko was at his absolute peak at lightweight, he was the best pound for pound fighter on the planet, and there was no one remotely close. Yep. Went over and had that fight against Teofimo Lopez, and something just didn't work. Something just completely cracked, and it was a massive upset. And since then, it's been difficult to see that same spark that Lomachenko had at his best. And I worry now Father Time has probably taken over from him.
Harrison earned too much money, do you think?
No.
The motivation's gone?
I don't think the motivation's gone. I think he still wants these big title opportunities. He wants to be undisputed again. And I think he can be, but it's difficult because obviously Shakur Stevenson is the big player at 35 now.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with a lot of you. Even though the best of Lomachenko's past him, even him when he's like 80% of what that was, should be taking Kambosos apart very, very easily here. And I really fancy Lomachenko to do a job on him. I don't know if he'll stop him, but I think we really need to see him go through the levels again now and just get somewhere back to where he was. Because when he was at his best, this is a complete mismatch. But like you said, it is a bit closer now.
It's a bit like Canelo. Canelo, even though he's only 80% of what he was, he's still better than the rest.
80%.
Jams,
yeah.
Is there a possibility here that Kambosos' work rate swamps Lomachenko?
Not in a million years. Not for me, mate. I can't see any way other than a judge's scorecard robbery that Kambosos Jr. wins this fight. Lomachenko's too slick, too skillful, too boxing IQ'd up. He is not going to let Kambosos get anywhere near him. It's going to be a masterclass of boxing, and the only way he loses is if the Australian judges are as bent as the Americans.
Devin Haney's shown you how to do it.
Yeah, of course he did. Devin Haney's not showed anything, mate. Not in my opinion.
Look, against Kambosos, I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant against Lomar.
No, against Kambosos, Devin Haney put a blueprint there of how to, sweet science, and nothing stopping Loma doing that, is there?
That's it, mate. Yeah, Loma he'll dance his way to an absolute, for me, it'll be a unanimous 12-round decision. It'll be an absolute one-sided masterclass from Loma.
Håkan, how do you see it?
I see it exactly the same as Jan. Masterclass, wide decision from Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Moving on to the fight that I think is probably going to be the fight of the night. Nina Hughes and Shanika Johnson. Daz, I'll come to you first. Being the superstar coach of the new Commonwealth Fly Champion. Right, break this fight down for me, mate.
An interesting fight. Shanika Johnson's a decent fighter. She, she lost Ellie Scotney at Super Bantam, but there's no disgrace in that. She's a decent fighter. Listen, Nina Hughes is a good fighter as well, but she's getting on a bit, Nina Hughes as well, isn't she?
41.
Yeah. I don't know, mate. I'm just not. I've never been overly sold on Nina Hughes. She's a good fighter, but I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just not overly sold on her.
I get the sneaky feeling, reading between the lines there, you think Nina Hughes is getting beat.
You are. Listen, there's a chance she could. I don't know, mate. To be fair, I'm a bit on fence with it because it's a bit of a. I can make a case for both. But
she's like 12 years a junior who's only
obviously fighting in that climate as well. It could all come a factor. She could get outworked. Listen, but Nina's got a really high work rate as well. So it could be probably a fight at night, like you say. But if it's remotely close, we know where decision's going, don't we?
Going with the Aussie. That's what I was going to say, Daz. I was going to say, if there's going to be a dodgy home decision, I think it'll probably be in this one rather than
I agree.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if it's close, you'd think that, they'd probably side with Shanika Johnson. But listen, Shanika Johnson could well win it, deservedly. Likewise, Nina Hughes. I mean, listen, the fight, these fights that we want to see in that division, and if Shanika Johnson gate crashes the party, then well done to her. But if she doesn't, then these fights that the fans want to see in that women's bantamweight division.
Definitely,
absolutely agree. Harrison, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I quite like Shanika Johnson as well. I thought that she didn't look too bad against Ellie Scotney, who I think is quite distantly a level above most of these girls anyways at 118 and 22. I think that Johnson is a much better fighter at 118 pounds as well, so I think going back is probably going to suit her. Like someone alluded to there, Nina Hughes is 41 now, And as good an operator she's been, mind you, she's only fought 6 times professionally. I think there is a possibility that an upset's going to get sprung here, and I think that she could nick a split decision. She's a solid boxer as well. She's got high activity. She's good work rate. She's got 12 years lesser on her as well. I do like Nina Hughes. I just think that if it was going to take a chance on one of the underdogs all night on this one, it would be Johnson.
Carl, how do you see it?
Yeah, a lot's been said, hasn't it? I'm going for Shanika Johnson to win this one. I think there's a combination of challenges for Nina Hughes, which is, like I say, temperature, work rate of Shanika Johnson, good come forward fighter. And like Harrison said, Nina Hughes is only 6-0. She's not like she's I know she's 41, but she's not a vastly experienced pro. So I think that combination altogether, with a few Australian dollars flying around, allegedly, I think Shanika will take it.
So a little bit concerning for me. Nina Hughes is having to travel all the way to Australia to defend the title. That probably tells you where she is, a management team and all sorts. Things have changed there recently, haven't they? So yeah, I don't know. I think she's got it all on. I'll be honest. I think Nina Hughes has got it all on to get any sort of a result here.
So what time's that card starting then? What's the time difference look like there? Do we know?
It's just on US time.
Oh, is it really?
2-3 a.m. start for us.
Yeah. 1 a.m. for the card, 3 a.m. for the main, I believe.
Oh, great. Yeah.
All ESPN times, yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not even going to bother getting up. I'm really not interested in the Kambosos Lomachenko fight one little bit. I don't want to see Lomachenko fight on too long, and I feel like he is.
I think
he should have left it.
I think there's a big argument with Lomachenko that he stayed amateur too long.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, mate. Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Can I get
such a shame? Yeah, of course. I can. Sorry.
I like Nina Hughes. I met her at ringside in London when the fight wasn't signed, but it was more or less known that it's gonna be in Australia on that card a month before it was announced, and chatted to Nina, and it was nice to meet her, and I hope that Nina could win, but it's gonna be hard on the backyard of Shanika Johnson. I think it's gonna be a close fight. And for me in this division, like I know Dina Torsland from Denmark pretty well, so that's the fight I'm hoping for: Dina versus Nina down the line.
That would be Nina versus Dina Torsland would be an absolutely fantastic fight.
I can think of a better one.
It's a bit disappointing for me that Nina Hughes has had to go all the way out to Australia to fight and defend her title. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me politically. She's never fought on a top-ranked show before, and she's only ever had one fight outside of the UK, which was in a Dubai show that nobody watched, let's be honest. And it's a bit disappointing. I think you've got 3 amazing promoters in the UK, but also the small holes. I think it's a real shame that they couldn't have just gone, even if it was a small arena, to have filled her out and given her a big opportunity in Britain. Obviously, she's gone to make significantly more money than she was offered in the UK.
That's why she signed for Lou DiBella. That's the reason for the fight.
Well, there you go. And obviously,
I think no one wants to give her a big payday because she's 41. They're not going to make any future money out of her. You only invest in prospects, don't you, really, to get money later. And there's no money in Nina Hughes at the moment, unfortunately. As sad as that sounds, she's a great boxer, undefeated. There's no future money in her.
No, real shame.
The problem, you've just hit the nail on the head, lads. The problem is of her age. None of the big UK promoters were interested. So what does she have to do? She's got to go where she's got to go. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, lads, that we're talking like this about a world champion. And I agree with Daz, even though he hasn't said it. There's a massive fight to be had. And the British public want it because there's been a little bit of banter going on there as well.
What fight is that?
Oh, a certain Miss Bridges, I think, might have made a better fight for Nina Hughes. Because, like I say, they've had a little bit, haven't they? You know, there's been a few things said over the time. I mean, it would have made more sense both of them being champion.
Yeah, listen, it would, but that's, you know, obviously that's not the case now. But listen, you know my thoughts on who would win that fight, so I'm not even.
Yeah. Of course, of course.
You know, I think at their best it'd just be too much for everyone. But I'm going to be biased, aren't I? No, I'm not actually. Things I've seen, I was shocked. You know, never known a woman be that strong. Never known a woman hit that hard. You know, very, very clever as well. Very deceptively clever and good defensively as well. So, you know, when she's ready and back to her best, you guys will hopefully, and everyone else will see it, whatever she chooses to do. But I will say, if I were taking my son away from a trainer's angle and just as a fan, I think I'd pay to watch her v Dina Torsland.
Oh man! Wow,
good fight.
That's an absolute war, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that'd be literally. Yeah, I mean,
Hawk and a bit of that one for sure.
Yeah, and
absolute.
I know Dina Torsland a lot, and she's work. I think she had a job during her career in Denmark because she doesn't earn enough money for a living on boxing as a pound for pound boxer. So I hope for Dina Torsland that she could get a big payday sometime.
Yeah, and Ebony Bridges would be that payday because that generates big money. She's a very well-known girl. More on OnlyFans, but she's known for her boxing too.
Yes.
She's got a huge following on OnlyFans. Huge. Apparently.
Are you a subscriber, Jam?
He is, isn't it?
I got accused of this the other day. I'm actually not. I'm not. Good numbers, though.
I believe Jams will be on the live stream tonight.
Sold me out.
What live stream's this?
Ebony's live stream.
Oh, do you know? You little dark horse.
I didn't even know there was one. No, she has got a lot of fans though, Ebony Bridges. Looking forward to seeing her back in the ring, to be honest.
I've had the privilege. I mean, Daz is obviously it's difficult for Daz to say what he wants to say because everyone's going to say he's being biased because he's a coach. I've had the privilege of being in the gym, going up and interviewing a lot of the fighters in the gym, but seeing what Ebony's doing in there really opened my eyes. I've always been a fan of what she's done as a boxer anyway, but I can see what Daz is seeing and what Daz is telling me, and everyone's going to be very, very surprised at the version of Ebony Bridges that comes out of that gym when she fights next.
She was a little disappointed against Blue Dog though, weren't she? A little, like, she didn't perform to her best at all. She can do a lot better than she did against Mio Ishida.
Mate, listen, you ask her that question yourself and her answer will be, "Our fucking shit."
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't want to be rude, but yeah, she was terrible.
No, she'll tell you that. She'll tell you that herself. She will tell you that herself.
Every fight I'm off days, right?
Yeah, she'll tell you that herself. I watched it and I was like, you know.
She weren't Ebony Bridges, was it?
No. And listen, like, just said everyone has an off night, you know. Listen, I think there are about 4 or 5 changes of opponents. Yeah. You know, and I've commented. Well, I've had the conversation with her. I would have been telling her to pull out, but you know, she's a fighter. She hadn't been in ring for a bit. She wanted to fight. You know, there are a lot of factors contributed to it. But listen, let's look at thing as well. Let's look at how humble and great she was in defeat.
Yeah.
She actually says as well that, you know, we've had the conversation. She listen, if it weren't for the fact that it was her that lost to her, she was very pleased for Mayo.
I was going to say that, Daz. You could see, even though she was very disappointed she lost, because she knows the journey that Maya Ishido's been on.
Yeah, listen,
she was happy for her that she got that win.
Yeah, listen, that don't mean that she won't punch her face in.
Of course, no. Yeah.
You've been in Jim Andy. I think you were in there when I was doing a bit of pad work with her. You know what I mean? You listen. You saw our odd shits. I ain't just making.
Yeah. It's crazy, mate. It's crazy.
Like, you know, and she's very clever as well. Listen, I can't wait for her to get back in ring. I really can't. So I'm, you know, I'm just hoping that listen, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and you know, you're not gonna see. The thing is, you're not gonna see a new Ebony Bridges. You're not gonna see a new, you know, all this. You're gonna see the old Ebony Bridges.
That's what we want to see, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the main thing. Want to see the old Ebony, and that's what we're doing. We're bringing the old Ebony back. You know, none of this. You know, trying to be something that she's not. Just, you know, basically bringing back what made her successful and made her a world champion.
Look forward to that for sure. Definitely.
Is a rematch on the card with Yoshida?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think, obviously not next, because I think Yoshida's got to face her mandatory.
I've heard that too.
Shiretta Metcalf. Yeah. No relation, by the way. But yeah, she's got to face her. And Shiretta's already beat her, I believe.
Yeah. She has.
Yeah, but listen, Mayo could, you know, find some. Listen, let's be right. Mayo's a decent, good fighter. You know what I mean? Former world champion. So she could find another gear and beat Shiretta. I don't get involved in what's next for Ebony. I'll be honest. I just concentrate on training her. She'll decide what's best for her, and she'll do that. And I'll just help prepare her. And that's how we roll.
It's a very interesting division in female boxing, the bantamweight division. There's some big fights to be made there. And I agree with you, Daz. The Torsley fight, wow, that down the line, and I hope it happens when they're both champions. It's a massive fight, really good fight, absolute war of a fight.
The Nina Hughes fight. The Nina Hughes fight is a good fight. You know, it's just.
Hey, lads, shoot, mate. Sorry. See you later, lads.
All right, mate. See you later. You know, listen, Ebony's where the money is. You know, you can't deny that. Ebony's where the money is. She brings in the eyes. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
I just can't wait for my VIP tickets, Dad. That's what I'm waiting for.
Right, Carl, I think that was the last topic of the night. We've gone over the hour mark. Is there anything else you want to bring up?
Have we covered Inoue? No, we haven't.
Oh no, let's talk about that, Daz. You take
criminal.
I know. No, you take it away first.
Special, and even more special, and very good.
Get dropped. I mean, that was quite an heavy knockdown, wasn't it, as well, Dad, when he got dropped?
Mate, listen, before everyone, all other guys, say this is my opinion. This is my opinion of it. I sat and watched it live. Just got back from gym, so I sat and watched it. And after it were over, I rewound it and watched it again. So then I rewound it and watched it again. And on the fourth time, I made my missus come in and watch it. And she sat down and she went, when he's walking to the ring, she went, he looks like he should be in a boy band, him. Like a Japanese boy band. So anyway, he gets knocked down. He went, oh, I went, yeah, watch this. And so from my point of view of Inoue, he's, listen, Neri's a good fighter.
Yeah.
You know, powerful, sharp. And if you look at that left hook that he hit him with, it was flush on chin. And it spun him round near enough.
Yeah.
And he got, got to his knees, looked at ref. Yeah, I'm all right. Got up, dodged a couple of big shots. And do you know what? He never got hit with that shot again.
And he made him shake.
He adjusted, and he never got hit with that shot again. And I just thought, yeah, this guy is something special. And the biggest compliment that I could pay him is if he fought one of my all-time favorite lower weight fighters, I think Inoue would win, and that's Ricardo Lopez. And that's a big, big shout for me. That I think Inoue is going to go down as probably the greatest fighter from Asia.
Oh, there's no doubting that, in my opinion.
All these American fans that are coming on saying he needs to come to America, blah blah blah. There's 55,000 in that Turkey show.
Well, have you seen what apparently Turkey? Shall I call him? Yeah, His Excellency.
His Excellency. Thank you, His Excellency, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. He's apparently gonna, because is Joshua supposed to be fighting in September at Wembley?
Yeah.
He's apparently given. He's obviously going to make a big offer to Inoue to box on that card.
If Inoue fights at Wembley, you've got to be there, right? Never mind.
Without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. He's just special. Listen, there's not many fighters who I look and I'm like, and I look at him and I think, yeah, you are something. You are. He just seems to have it all.
And he's a mean mother.
Mate, it's like the commentator. She said that is a bad man.
Yeah, he does not let you off that hook, does he?
No, and do you know what else? Systematically break you down.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I toughed Paul Butler.
Yeah.
It was me.
Do you know what I mean?
Harrison, sorry, Daz. Harrison, is there any argument about the pound for pound king?
I didn't think there was before the fight, and if you think there is now, you're off your head. Because there's not much more I can add there than what Daz has said. And he was on about Ricardo Lopez. I think back to the last 10 years of the little guys who don't get as much attention. But even the absolute best, Chocolatito Gonzalez, Juan Francisco Estrada, Sursiket Borungbasai, were all elite, high-class fighters around those weights. This man, for me, is the best under lightweight fighter of all time. He is absolutely incredible. And the way he got up, the one question, and I was with Carl for the watch-along on the Monday, the one question we had was, can he take a punch and get back up from it? He didn't just get back up from the punch. He absolutely bullied one of the best super bantamweights on the planet. And he made him look like a 6-25 journeyman. It was incredible. He is just simply incredible. And is back across Japan. It buries the questions that he has to go to the States and fight. If he comes over to London, I'll be in the front row because he's just an unbelievable advocate for the sport. One of the best I've ever seen. Maybe the best.
Håkan?
I couldn't watch the fight live. I was working, but I watched most of the fights afterwards. And Inoue is special, like Des said. And for the potential September card in London, I'm curious who will he face at Wembley, if it will be at Wembley. his next fight in September. Sam Goodman was ringside, and apparently Bob Arum confirmed that they will reach out to Sam Goodman for Inoue's next fight. He's IBF mandatory. Is that the fight for Wembley?
That lasts about 3 seconds.
Sam Goodman will like keep ringing. He's like looking at Inoue and he said, "Yeah, you either fight me or give the belts up." And he almost like looked at him and winked and said, "Please give them up,
please.
Yeah,
please give them up and move up."
Yeah.
So that was going to be my next question, guys. I'll come to all of you on this, but there's been lots and lots of people giving their opinions over the last week that they wonder just how far Inoue can go. How far does he go up before he's too small to compete at the elite level? I know that you've said he can go up at 2 or 3 weights easily.
I say super feather, and that's it. And he's probably super feather going to have to rely. Listen, he'll probably prove me wrong, but I'd say he'd have to rely on skill at super feather. I mean, it's interesting as to who he'd fight on that Wembley bill. I mean, someone actually mentioned to me, I've been talking about this at gym today, and someone actually said to me, well, I bet you if Nick Ball beats Raymond Ford, it could be Nick Ball v Inoue at featherweight. For WBC title. Not WBC, sorry. What is it? Is it WBA? IBF? Yeah, so, and I went, nah.
Can you imagine Nick Ball jumping in like he does?
Oh, mate. Excuse my French, but that's like, that's painful. The guy's unreal. I can't sing him enough praises. Do you know what? He's that good. I'd love to just take him on the pads for a round. Just because I mean, Jamie McDonald commented and said he'd never felt anything like that in his life. The first shot where I don't think he even landed. I think it landed on his gloves, and I think he said the initial thought were, if one of them lands on my chin, I'm in trouble. Just powerful beyond belief and an amazing fighter. I think he's just unreal.
I wouldn't want to see him go too high though, because I'm sick of this fascination where fighters have to start jumping up weights to try, to be considered elite.
No, but I think he's doing it, Carl, for challenges.
Maybe there's nothing left where he is there? That's
the problem, isn't it?
No, I mean he's just absolutely ripped through everybody, hasn't he? There's no one that people could say, well, he didn't fight him. I mean,
he's literally beaten everybody. There's no one left in that division. He's literally, you look at the first 8 names on the pound for pound list in that division, he's just beaten them all. I think he has to move up. I like the idea there that someone said about if he moves up, obviously he'd be a mandatory for the WBA, that he'd get to fight the winner of the Ray Ford and Nick Ball fight. But again, he probably still batters them, doesn't he?
Yeah. Easy.
I mean,
easy night's work against either of them.
I mean, if he goes to, I mean, I know it's a bit of a mad one, right? But what about Josh Warrington jumping in with him?
He's not got the quality, I don't think, Josh Warrington.
No, I don't think anybody has, Harrison.
No, true. It'd be exciting. Yeah.
Do you know for like a British thing, welcome to Britain sort of thing, not for 1 minute.
Warrington gets hit too much, Daz. Can you imagine it?
But listen, it's not about Warrington, is it? It's about a well-known British name,
promotion,
Inoue looking spectacular. But I think you could put Inoue in with Godzilla and he'd look spectacular. Do you know what I mean?
Neo Inoue is not a massive name in Leeds either, so that would be huge for his profile. If you think about it, like just as a general, I suppose anywhere in England, that he needs a little profile fight. But if he comes over to Wembley and does what he does, like he's been doing in Japan, it's going to help catapult him even more. If he needs it.
I mean, I said same when with Jaron Ennis regarding Jaron Ennis, fighting Mackinson or Harry Scott. Listen, not for 1 minute do I think that they'd beat him.
It's profile.
It's welcome to England, isn't it? Oh, who's this? For people who don't know, because as much as I respect Warrington and Nick Ball and all them, it's not about them.
No,
they're not in the same league. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, listen, Paul Butler, mate, must be at home thinking, I'm hard as nails, me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It must be.
It'll be really interesting to see who Turkey Al-Sheikh throws in with him at Wembley.
Well, I don't think it's on him who he chooses, but I think it's.
He'll want it to be a competitive match, though, right? You don't do many one-sided.
He's gonna have to fake Godzilla and King Kong on the same night, then, isn't
it? Yeah, it's going to be a world title fight, Carl, and it'll be the weight above, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'd have said so. I mean, listen, I know they've been joking about McCann and other kid, Liam. Is it Liam?
Liam Davis.
Yeah, I mean, listen, keep them two away from him. Do you know what I mean? Let him move up and let them do what they do.
I actually think Liam Davies is class as well. I think he'll go on.
He is, mate. He is. I think Davies beats McCann, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I do. I think he unifies that division in a year's time when Inoue moves up. But Inoue would like destroy.
I like Davies, but he still don't live in Inoue, does he? Let's be
honest.
He still don't
no one does.
No one does. Yeah, no one does. Listen, when we're talking about, like Harrison said earlier, Chocolatito and Sorungvasai and my favourite Lopez. Listen, when I'm saying this, I think Inoue beats the lot. It's like because he's beat everybody. He's not fought anyone. Listen, he might have fought people who were a little bit faded. Like, I mean, Donaire might have been a little bit faded, but he's beat everybody who people consider, and he's done it from like flyweight up to super bantam. He turned pro lighter than what Nick is. You know what I mean? I think he won world titles, didn't he, as well at light fly?
See, that's the ridiculous thing is his starting point, and we're talking about him going up to super feather. It's nuts to even consider it.
I think he can do it.
I think
he can do it. And do you know what I like about him in a way as well? Do you know what I like about him? He's not one of them who wants to move, move up in weight and pick the weakest champion.
No.
He wants the best. He'll move up a division and fight the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Louis Nere is going to be a world champion for me.
Yeah, 100%.
The fight I would like in the coming year, if it's that Bam Rodriguez go up to his weight class.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but still as good as Bam is. I'm just after, yeah.
That's probably his toughest fight.
I don't think it will
no, I'm not saying it's going to be tough, Daz. I'm saying it's his toughest fight.
Yeah.
Because Bam's got skill in abundance, so
he would need it.
If he uses it, he will need it, Cole. But what I'm saying is, if he uses it to the best of his ability, he may keep Inoue off for a little while.
The big problem there is whether Bam is able to carry himself up to 122 pounds as well.
And still be as quick and still be as nimble. Yeah.
We're going to say Bam's a fly, isn't he? Probably. Best keeping. To be fair, if I were Bam's advisor, I'd say, I think I'd leave him.
And he doesn't want any of that.
just let him float up them divisions and retire. Just leave him be. But
he's in a bit of a difficult position in that, because I understand why people are saying he needs to fight in America. Because if he's going to make a massive fight against a massive champion in a higher division that's either European or American, then for that fight to generate the money it needs to generate, he needs to be a name in that area. And he's a name to boxing fan, to like boxing hardcore, but he's not a name to the public. So it makes it difficult to generate the sort of money that he'd want to go and fight there. That's going to be the stumbling block for me, because he's in a position now where he doesn't even have to try, and he's selling out stadiums. That won't happen. That won't happen in America.
Well, that's the problem. Is let's make a scenario where he's been offered the exact same money to fight in Japan as he is in America. Take out maybe the gate. The gate will be more in America, but obviously you lose the overall viewership, whatever. I think he was just, there's no sense for him to do it. I don't think he's that interested in making a massive profile for himself. I feel like he's done the hard yards of all of that in the past, and that's why he's selling out these arenas. The only, and we said it, I think, last week, the only place that makes sense for him to fight is Saudi Arabia under His Excellency. Other than that, it just doesn't.
The thing is, he has got a massive profile. It's just not. It's just not in the Western Hemisphere. That's all it comes down to, is the fact that he's basically the Messi of boxing over in Asia. That's it. You know, he doesn't need to travel anywhere else, really.
Listen,
it's whether the top boys would be prepared to go there. That's all it comes down to.
He's the Lee Wood of Nottingham. That's what he is.
Lee Wood, more famous than Robin Hood, I've heard.
Yeah, easily. Robin Hood.
But no, listen. In a way, I hope Turkey Al-Sheikh entices him to grace us with his presence, because, you know, I think I'll be surprised how many people will sort of know who he is a little bit, you know, and will go and watch. Because, I mean, the guy's just unbelievable. I get excited talking about him, to be fair.
You can tell, guys, you can tell.
Yeah, and, you know, listen, I rate Jaron Ennis as well. Really massive fan of Jaron Ennis. Massive fan of Jaron Ennis.
What a job match we were doing with him, Daz. Taking him back. Is it Phoenix? What's his hometown? I forget.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Wells Fargo Center.
But in a way, he's just,
Eddie is going to make Ennis a world superstar, isn't it?
Yeah, and he should be. He shouldn't he?
Yeah.
It's about time into it, because he's got no profile.
Yeah, he will have.
Yeah, he will have, yeah. By all accounts, he's a really nice, humble, quiet guy, to be fair. So I've been told.
I've just got one last comment about Inoue. Well, not him, but in particular his promoter, Bob Arum, who was out in Japan on Monday afternoon. He's the biggest badass in boxing history.
Yeah.
He sat there at, 97 years of age to be sat in an arena in Japan on a Monday. He's done an unbelievable job of it, in a way. Deserves all the credit in the world, Bob.
Yeah.
The air miles that guy's covers puts us all to shame in terms
Bob Arum, you know, listen, every promoter has had the faults in the past, but every promoter's also done some good things. But yeah, Bob Arum's, well, he just lives and breathes it, doesn't he?
Yeah, probably the best ever.
Yeah, very good.
I think that's a very good place to end the show, Carl.
So do I. So thank you for everybody in the sidebar. Thank you, Jack, for your comments. Orcam, thank you very much for joining us from Scandinavia. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Harrison, who's a little bit closer.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining, Celebrity Coach. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Ender. Well presented as ever. This has been Last World Boxing in association with SC Travel and LW Liftings. Same time next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. We might go live Saturday night, but we'll post on socials if we do. Thanks for coming. Cheers, guys.
See you later, lads.
Cheers, lads.